In a quiet, unremarkable village nestled between rolling hills and a wide river, lived Raghav, a poor farmer. His life was as simple as his home, a thatched hut surrounded by a small plot of land. On this land, he grew what little he could, often at the mercy of the weather. Despite the hardships, Raghav bore a serene demeanor. People in the village often wondered why he never complained or cursed his fate. One summer, a prolonged drought hit the region. The fields turned to dust, the river shrank to a trickle, and hunger began to haunt the villagers. Meetings were held, and complaints echoed through the air like desperate prayers. Yet, Raghav remained silent, tending to his dry land each day, as if rain might fall tomorrow. One day, a curious villager named Gopal approached him. "Raghav, you never complain. How can you stay so calm when the world seems so unfair?" Raghav looked up from his work, wiped his sweat, and replied gently, "Complaints won't fill my stomach, Gopal. Silence teaches me to listen, to observe, and to find peace in what I cannot control." Gopal scratched his head. He couldn't understand Raghav's philosophy, but the words stayed with him. Months passed, and the drought persisted. The villagers' tempers frayed, and accusations began to fly. Some blamed the village head for poor water management, others the gods for their silence. Amid the chaos, Raghav continued to tend to his field with quiet determination. One evening, a traveler arrived in the village. He was a wandering sage known for his wisdom. Seeing the despair on the villagers' faces, he offered to hold a gathering to share his teachings. Everyone attended, including Raghav, who sat quietly at the back. The sage began, "The storms of life are not always meant to be conquered. Sometimes they are meant to teach us the strength of stillness. In silence, we find clarity. In patience, we find solutions." He then asked, "Who among you has managed to keep working despite the drought?" The villagers murmured and pointed toward Raghav. The sage invited him to speak. Raghav hesitated, then stood. "I am no teacher, but I have learned this. When I am silent, I can hear the whispers of the earth. It tells me to prepare for rain even when the sky is clear. It reminds me that every season passes, and my job is to endure, not despair." The villagers listened, their noisy minds quieting. For the first time, they saw the wisdom in Raghav's silence. Encouraged, they asked the sage for advice. He suggested ways to conserve water, share resources, and plant drought-resistant crops. The villagers, inspired by Raghav's example, began working together rather than blaming each other. Weeks later, the rains finally came. The villagers rejoiced, their fields drinking deeply of the life-giving water. Raghav, true to his nature, worked silently, grateful but not exuberant. His field flourished, not because it was better than the others, but because he had prepared for the rain even in the face of drought. In time, the villagers began to adopt Raghav's way of living. They learned to complain less and act more, to be patient in adversity and grateful in abundance. Raghav remained the same, quiet, steady, and wise. His silence was not emptiness but a reservoir of strength, teaching everyone that in life, storms come and go, but the calm within can weather anything. And so, the poor farmer became the silent sage of the village, proving that sometimes, saying nothing is the loudest statement of all.